Hello everyone and welcome back to 1000 Gurus, where we share the stories and life lessons from people of all walks of life. I'm your host, Yonocruz. Today we have a return guest, Travis Trinh, back on the show, our resident fitness and bowling expert, as well as Gunpla and fellow anime enthusiast. This is kind of a hybrid episode in that we start off by catching up in what Travis has been up to the last 14 months since his first recording, but we also went into a handful of pre-planned topics, but leaving the structure a little bit open so that we can see where the conversation unfolds. Huge spoiler, we talk a lot about anime and discuss the endings and plot twists for some of our favorite anime. So if you're not caught up with these and don't want to get spoiled, highly recommend skipping that section. I'll mark them off with chapters. Other than anime, we discuss Travis's process for his annual summer cut before Anime Expo, his potential cosplays, and we end with a deep dive into the technical side of bowling since we didn't really get into that last time. Overall, such a great conversation. It was so much fun to record, and I'm looking forward to re-listening to it once this is live. So without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Travis Trinh. Hello everyone and welcome back to 1000 Gurus. Travis, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me back, JR.
Yeah, thanks for hopping back on. I appreciate it. I think the first episode was a lot of fun. We're just kind of waiting for the right time to have you back on, and it seems like we have a lot of updates and things that we can talk about. Your last recording was March 2025, so of course we'll start this off. We have our planned topics, but I wanted to start this off as usual, kind of like getting your life updates, recent happenings, or things that you're currently into. So what you been up to, man?
For sure. Well, yeah, March 2025. That's a good over a year in like about 2 months. And yeah, so recently, just really busy at work, still working at the same company, but really they're pushing production of this new product line. So I've been really focused on work throughout the day, been working through lunches, later hours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of not the fun stuff, but outside of work, everything's been pretty chill, pretty normal. So gymming, became a new Dodger fan, I guess you would say.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, kind of got inspired by watching the World Series last year. Never really paid attention to baseball until the Dodgers and the Blue Jays put on absolute cinema during the World Series. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And now I'm starting to see the little battles inside the game, the stuff I normally see in soccer because I play soccer, but now I see it in baseball too. So even though they're not scoring and all that stuff is happening, I'm finding interesting little things in baseball. So that's cool. And I've been working on a lot of Gunpla. You can see my desk is still riddled with this stuff right now in my
Mm.
back there, my display case. But a lot of Gunpla, new
Is that
Dodger
new?
fan.
You've been doing that. You've been doing that gunplay.
I think ever since I've been doing it since I was like in high school, but I stopped for a
Mm.
long time. I think it was 2 Christmases ago or Thanksgivings ago, I started back up, and
Mm.
I have a huge backlog. You talked about your backlog of episodes. I have a backlog of Gunpla, and
Mm.
yeah, it's basically most of my free time is working on this stuff when I'm at home, when I'm not at the gym, when I'm not at work, and I have some chill time. It's working on this stuff.
Mm.
hmm
Dang. So for you, it's pretty focused in on work, gym, doing that, and then sometimes I see you'll go out skiing, snowboarding, something like that, like during the
Yes,
season.
yes. Yeah, during
Yeah.
ski season or snow season,
Yeah.
yeah, Tracy and I, we go snowboarding a lot with
Mm.
different groups of friends. But this year we went to Colorado, hit up Winter Park for the first time, and just typically we're up in Mammoth. You'll be able to find us up there. We actually started planning out for next winter already, potentially going back to Asia for some snowboarding, and just planning out the winter season, saying what's the best season to go on an Asia trip, so we don't miss out on too much snowboarding and stuff too here.
So when you guys do go snowboarding for that season, like the winter season, how often do you go? What's the schedule?
I would say we're trying to make use and our Icon Pass is worth it. That's basically like a season pass for multiple ski resorts.
Uh,
And to make it worth it, it's like at least 5 days worth of snowboarding because
hmm
the pass is almost like $1,000. And each lift ticket per day now is about 200, so about
Oh,
5 days
dang.
worth. Yeah, so we try to go at least one trip a month during the season, if not more. Like Mammoth is relatively close. It's just like a 4 to 5 hour drive, but we'll try to do like a further travel trip once a year too.
Oh, okay. How long is the season?
Oh, the season goes for a while. Technically, if I wasn't here right now, I could be up at the mountain the
Yeah, yeah.
season ends. Mammoth officially closes the season this year next week, actually, a week from today, the 31st.
Oh, so okay. So what so if I was to buy one of those passes, like when is it
Mhm.
active? What months?
Well, technically, whenever there's snow, whenever the ski resort
Mm,
opens, they
yeah.
typically shoot to open for end of November, and it'll just
Okay,
keep
okay.
going until the sea there's no more snow.
Oh, interesting. So it's based on the actual snow rather than just
Hmm.
like we always open November and then we close in May or whatever. It's always based
Yeah,
on the weather. Interesting.
it's
Well, that
kind
makes
of like a
sense.
exactly, yeah. It's kind of like a gamble because
Mm.
there'll be seasons where there's like no snow, and even though this is
Oh.
like season, it's like really bad snow or really man-made snow. So
Mm.
you know, heading up to Mammoth is not really worth it when it's not great snow. But you'll have some really good seasons that'll go super long. I believe
Oh.
last year went until, or 2 years ago went until August.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you go about once a month and you try to go at least 5 times, and that's for the whole weekend, or is it like one day? And then you said a daily pass is like a couple hundred or something?
Yeah, so we talked about days. So if I went up on a trip, I typically would go to board for at least 2 days.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
head up Friday night, board Saturday, Sunday, and come home. So that would be like
Mm-hmm.
2 days of the season
Mm-hmm.
pass. So I would have to do 3 trips to do 6 days total, and that would be like
Mm.
100 or $1,200 worth of lift ticket.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hmm.
So you try to hit that amount, but also it depends on, you know, when you can plan the trips and also like how the weather is, whatnot.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's cool. Okay, so and you still bowl, right? Or is that like seasonal?
I still bowl. Bowling goes
Okay.
year round. Forgot about that too.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I only bowl right now once a week because my league is only once a week. But yeah, every Tuesday out here in Northridge or up in Northridge, I bowl with my team right now. And yeah, gonna be heading
Cool.
to in the summer right after AX. I'll be
Yeah.
heading to Vegas for a bowling tournament. That's an individual
Oh,
event though.
is that the one you go to every year, or is that special?
It's the one I try
Or
to go to every year, but it
uh
conflicts with Anime Expo usually.
Oh, I see. I
But yeah,
see.
this is the one year that Anime Expo, like 4th of July weekend, is like the first weekend of the bowling tournament.
Mm,
So the second weekend of the bowling tournament where I'm in Vegas, I can be there. Last, I think last year I didn't go at all, and the year before I went. But I went the first week of the tournament,
hmm.
and then Anime Expo was the second weekend of that week, and it just wasn't. No, I had no friends or no teammates up there with me, so it wasn't as fun.
Ah, I see.
Hmm.
Interesting. That's cool. Okay, that's so it seems like a lot of the same things minus the Dodgers. So that's pretty cool. Is there my last follow-up question for this life updates? Is there anything that's been on your mind recently that you think about often or deeply? I'm just curious. What's at the forefront of Travis's mind besides all your activities?
Yeah, no, I'm just like super busy. Forefront, I guess something that's kind of like I think about once in a while is my dance, right? That's how we met. That's how we know each other. I know you're still active-ish, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and for me, the dance team or crew that I was like, more active in, they're not so active anymore. So I'm just basically a free agent waiting for a call, if anyone needs someone in the
Mm,
project. But
hmm.
with everyone being so far away now, because I live in Burbank, I like not getting recruited as much. I'm like, hmm, so what's going on with my dance now? Do I need to practice more by myself? What's going on? So still want to keep it up, but yeah, just not a lot of opportunity right now.
Okay, I was gonna ask, so what are your dance goals? So I know you just mentioned keeping it up, and if there are kind of projects where they need people, you'd be like down, but what are your objectives or goals with dance?
I think I just want to maintain, right? It's like a
Okay, okay.
skill set and like a hobby and passion that I had. That's how, like I said, we met, right?
Yeah.
And a good friend group that I had or have with, the dance community, but feel like I'm falling out of touch with it because I'm not part of these projects where everyone else is getting together, practicing, doing
Mm,
these covers and then release parties and stuff. But, I'm over here in Burbank.
yeah. Are you still into K-pop and dance? And second follow-up to that is, are there projects that you would want to do? Aside from the active people kind of doing their own thing, is there something
Mhm.
that you would want to do that you're like waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, I still follow K-pop, still follow dance. Still a big fan of aespa and Le Seraphim, stuff like Twice, and guy
Mm,
groups, 17, and I watched Bankchella, that was sick. But yeah, there's been like songs and covers that I would want to do, like AT's Adrenaline when that came out. That was like I was all over that song. But
mm,
just not, I can't do it myself. Like
yeah, yeah,
it covers a team of 7, and don't have the resources to lead and pull people up here for it. So I was
right.
kind of seeing and kind of putting feelers out there, see if anyone was doing that cover to see if maybe I could join them. But yeah, nothing hooked, like nothing hit. I'm always still down for like second gen covers. Those are like pretty fun.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to do those, right? But nothing's come up, nothing's come my way. So
Okay. We'll put it out there, at least anyone who's watching this show. Travis is open, especially second gen covers. So if you
for
guys are
sure,
thinking about it, and then depending on the song, I might also be down. So just
let's
throwing that
go,
out there.
let's go.
Sweet. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, thanks for all the updates. So let's go
Mhm,
into our planned sort of topics, but this will kind of be like a free form conversation. So
mhm.
you're currently in your sort of annual summer cut fitness and then cosplay era. I think that's right. It's usually around this time. I think you've been
Yep.
doing it sort of annually. So
Mhm.
how has that been like? And I guess what is your process for people who don't know?
Got you. So every year, sometimes it fluctuates 2 months or 3 months before Anime Expo. I start my cut, and just the basic rundown of what I do like annually is I start limiting my calories. First, I just focus on calories, and then I transition to focusing a little more on macros too, carbs, proteins, fats. Keep my proteins high, lower my carbs slowly, and then it goes down to maybe like the month before I'm like super super low carbs, and then that's my typical cut. Last year was a to me like a down year in terms of how well I cut. I got down to about 14% body fat, where previous years I've been around like 11%. So I was like, oh, what happened last year, right? And I think I started my cut a little too late and a little too loose with it. So this year I started it 3 months ahead to make sure that I can cut down. I actually weighed my or measured my body fat towards the beginning of my cut this year to see where I'm starting at. And then I'm gonna measure it again right before Anime Expo to see where I got to see, okay, when I cut for 3 months like this, how much body fat am I gonna lose? Things like that. And I'm also using a new app to help track my macros and stuff. And it's been like pretty helpful because it's tracking like my weight trend, help me like track macros better, easier and stuff too. So kind of like listening to that right now of what my macro should be, and it's actually giving me more wiggle room with carbs. So a little happier there.
Okay. So, a lot of jumping off points. So I know that you have a good understanding of like how your body reacts to certain macro distributions, and you
Mhm,
generally have an idea of your base maintenance calories. And then when you've been doing these cuts, you have an idea of, okay, what you're trying to aim for. But this time you're using an app to help you kind of track those things.
mhm,
I'm wondering I'm wondering what the variance is because you said in previous years, maybe you were more dialed in and you started sooner. Last year, maybe you started too late and also you were loose with it. So
mhm,
wouldn't the solution just being like more strict for those 2 or 3 months for what you know you need to hit? Or is there
mhm.
something else there?
Well, I think also being more strict could have also been a little detrimental to my cut before too. As I, get older, your body and metabolism stuff changes.
Right.
So last year, like some life events happens to where it's harder for me to be super super strict. I wasn't the only one that was kind of like determining what I wanted to eat, right? So at that point, I was kind of considering, like, oh, if I just eat the calories and stuff like that, it'll be better. And also, I spent the first month having a calorie count higher, right? More like baseline, and then started
Hmm.
dropping 200 at a time. And I might have dropped too late, you know, and just stayed at that baseline a little too long. I think using this app has kind of given me more of a median between going super, super strict and just, okay, I know if I go super hard cut, it's going to work versus, okay, if I just do what I think I might be able to typically follow, it's going to be okay. Obviously, one was too crazy and one was, you know, not good enough. And
Mm.
this app is kind of giving me another cross reference of saying, hey, or more like justification. I think my calorie deficit should be like 200 calories. And the app is telling me the same thing. And it's actually tracking not just my weight like on a Google Sheets, right? It's tracking it and using statistics to account for variation. And it's giving me a trend of my weight rather than just the actual numbers. So it's showing me that, yeah, even accounting for variation, you're trending down. And I think it's actually been helping pretty good because I'm about halfway through my cut and just visually already I can see a big difference.
Okay. So so the app does a better job than when you were tracking more manually of seeing the visually the average or
I think what the app is the most benefit from the app right now I'm getting
yeah.
is a little more flexible with my calorie counting. Because before when I
Okay.
was manually counting, it
Yeah.
was like hard. So I had to basically do meal prep everything myself. And if I ever ate out, like
Mm.
my estimations weren't as good. Whereas this app has
Right,
like
right.
I could take a picture, I could scan barcodes, all the stuff that I
Oh,
couldn't do before, I
yeah.
can now. So it's giving me more accurate tracking. And also the app is giving me more, like I said, more carbs than I'm used to giving myself. And it's basically showing me that, okay, you can have carbs and still cut rather than just straight up cutting out carbs totally.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Hmm.
interesting. So it's giving you kind of a more holistic and also kind of AI powered suggestion that's not as like strict regimen, but still effective.
Hmm. It kind of goes back to
Gotcha.
my original mindset too of you want to set a program that you can follow, right?
Right, right.
So now with the AI, it's actually setting an easier program than I would have set for
Mm,
myself.
I
And
see.
it's much easier to follow than, following a super strict one that I set.
Yeah. I think that's super
Mhm.
cool because as someone who I consider you to be like very knowledgeable in fitness and nutrition, that even you are like, oh, well, actually, this app makes it not only easier, but it's also giving me insights, whereas I'm kind of learning that there is more flexibility too. I think that's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Hmm.
What's the app called? Just so I can link it if you don't mind sharing.
MacroFactor?
MacroFactor.
Yeah, not sponsored,
And
but
yeah. Not sponsored. How did you find it? Or did someone recommend it?
I found it through sponsored YouTube videos.
Gotcha, gotcha. You're like, all right, so, well,
Yeah.
they're doing well enough to pay for the sponsored ad, so
Yeah, like
might
they
as well try it out.
yeah, not ads, but there's a bunch of YouTube fitness influencers
Okay.
that, Tracy and I just happen just to watch on YouTube when we're bored. And they do
Yeah.
fun fitness challenges and stuff like that. And there's,
Uh,
part of the video that, oh, I wouldn't be able to do this without MacroFactor, you know? So I was like,
yeah,
I heard it so many times. I'm gonna check it out. So yeah.
yeah, that's cool, and it's been working. Well, what is
Hmm.
the price point if you remember off the top of your head?
I think it's
Just
like
curious.
$6 a month.
6 per month. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, if you pay for the whole year, it's cheaper. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
of course. I'll note this stuff. I'll check that out. See if I
Yeah.
want to do that. Okay, so fitness, summer cut. I'm curious, my personal curiosity, is there anything that you've learned in the past year that
Mhm.
has added on top of your either nutrition approach and or fitness approach?
But yeah, a couple things. So definitely since using MacroFactor and kind of like doing more research in the industry of my cut.
Mhm.
Before I was very kind of anti carbs, and
Okay.
now it has kind of reset to be it kind of reset to being like, okay, so caloric deficit is the number one thing, but you can still get cut with carbs. You just have to make sure that your proteins are high enough and the carbs are going to feed you energy. That's coming from, not just research and watching other, industry people online, but also coworkers. I have a coworker who's a Olympic weightlifter, not in the Olympics, trying to be in Olympics, but the sport of Olympic weightlifting. And he's like,
Yeah.
bro, you need carbs or else you're not going to be able to work out as well because that's your energy, right?
Right.
Now, if you go to full ketosis, that's fine, but you're going to lose some weeks there trying to get into ketosis because your body has to
Oh.
transition into using fats instead of carbs for energy.
So it's so ketosis can still work and being on like
Hmm.
high low carb, high fat, but it that whole adjustment 2 week process will kind of set you back time wise. Is that what you're saying?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And like at this point, I guess I'll know at the end of this cut, but
Yeah.
is ketosis really necessary to cut? You know,
Yeah.
it worked for me before, but is it necessary?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember you saying that before when we chatted about this. In previous cuts, you were very ketogenic and it worked. And then the last year, you're like, okay, well, I also learned that I can now eat more carbs and still have a, generally the same cut, which is, I
Mhm.
think, ideal because ketosis is pretty strict or it's really hard to maintain,
Mhm.
sustainably. And then you said it mostly worked, but then at least as of last year, you're like, okay, I could have been a little bit better, started earlier, etc. But now you're
Yeah.
really kind of leaning into, okay, let me really see if I'm not strictly ketogenic, how this can really work out, right?
Yeah. Because I think even last year, that was when I wasn't super keto,
Yeah.
but it was more of a caloric deficit thing last year, I think, where I wasn't, you know, quick enough on my caloric decline and was kind of like sat around my baseline caloric deficit for too long.
I see.
That's
What
my
was the
assumption.
Yeah, of course. What's the benefit of sitting at your baseline for longer? What was the rationale? As opposed to just starting it right with your cut, you start at that
Mhm.
minus 200 or whatever.
Got you. I think so. What happened was the previous year when I did a 3 month cut, like I got super, super cut right before a month out already.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like a month out and I was like super shredded. And I was like,
Oh,
I'm still a month out. So maybe I spend the first month of my 3 month cut of just sitting around baseline to get
yeah.
used to, tracking calories again and then going to my cut.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So it was like, okay, I got the results really early, so the next time maybe I'll use that first month to just kind of acclimate and then
Hmm.
do the cut for the two. Gotcha. Okay. And then so now you're going into this with, sorry, just to go back. So your learnings was now you can do carbs or at least more than before, take your goals, and if ketosis really necessary. Anything else that you've learned or have trying to implement that's new?
Something that I will try to implement just because I don't want to mess up with my caloric burn rate right now. And
Yeah.
I'll implement it post AX is switching up my workout split from a push pull leg split to a
Yeah.
lower upper split. So
Okay.
yeah. So instead of
Why is
doing
that?
so push pull legs only really works if you go to the gym 6 days a week, which I am
Yeah.
right now. And it is kind of favoring your upper body a little more, which is totally okay. But it really makes you go to the gym 6 days a week. And when you're going to the gym 6 days a week, you're not giving yourself a lot of rest. And maybe your muscles are resting because you're only hitting, your chest twice a week. You have a 2 day gap to where it can recover. But your central nervous system, just of being pushing your body every day, might not
Mm.
get a chance to recover. So I'm thinking of going to lower upper. So I'm still hitting all body parts twice a week, but really focusing on giving myself a little more rest. And coming from, the research I've done and also from just coworkers and people I've spoke to at the gym and stuff like that, they say, yeah, I actually made a lot of improvement when I implemented more rest into my regimen. So I really want to try that to see if that's going to help, me make more gains.
Okay. So in push pull legs, that's 6 days a week, but in upper
Hmm.
lower, what does that look like for the week?
It would look like, let's say Monday, lower body, Wednesday, upper body, then you can go Saturday, Sunday for lower upper again, right? Or Friday, Saturday. So it was only 4 days a week
Okay, okay.
instead of
Oh, so
so
4 days
two.
a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. As opposed to 6 days, push pull
Hmm.
legs times two.
Hmm. Yeah. So lower
Interesting.
upper, it would be lower upper times two, which is 4 days.
So you think that, so going from 6 to 4 days to get more rest to see how that works for you or how
Hmm.
your gains might improve. Okay, that's cool.
Hmm.
I like that. I've seen, obviously, I'm familiar with these different splits too. And
Hmm.
I've seen another version where it's like a hybrid where it's, let's say Monday, Tuesday is upper lower and then rest on Wednesday and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday is push pull legs or something like that. And they'll kind
Hmm.
of cycle that as like a 5 day a week sort of thing. So I thought that was interesting.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how that'll work out for you since you're like, you're so used to what you do now.
Hmm.
Okay, so fitness, nutrition, I think we covered that unless we missed anything. So now cosplay for
Hmm.
AX at a 4th of July weekend, right? You were
Yep.
mentioning how you're trying to do 4 different cosplays. You have two set, if I'm not getting that wrong, and you're trying to look for two more.
Yes. at least one more because I could
Okay.
have like a chill day, but
Oh,
preferably two more.
yeah. So what are you
Yeah, especially
currently? Go ahead.
oh yeah, especially since the two that I already chose are pretty chill. The other two, I would like to look more, more involved cosplays.
What are the two that you have now?
Okay. So, number one, just because I was talking to other people who cosplay and said you should just do what you like, do what you want.
Yeah.
Don't care about relevancy too much. Don't care about what other people will say. So
Yeah.
I'm like, main character from Rent a Girlfriend.
Of course. Your current favorite anime, right?
My current, I would say, okay,
Okay.
current favorite anime that I'm currently watching because
Sure. Sure.
it's the slow season
Yeah.
right now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah.
So
So,
so you're just gonna just wait. What is his outfit? Is just clothes, right? Or
yeah,
do you have something specific in mind?
well, I'm getting his clothes, right? Because he has a very first season. He does change clothes, but there's a look that's his. It looks like a Naruto
Oh,
shirt. It's like an orange
yeah.
T-shirt with a spiral
Yeah.
here, but then he has a
Yeah.
black long sleeve under like this, and then white pinstripe pants, and then I'll get a wig to get his hair color and everything. But that's basically it, and it's like
Okay. Okay.
not very on character for me because you're like, Travis, your clothes is on. That's
Yeah. What are
weird.
you doing? You're wearing too much. You're wearing too much clothing. What's going on?
Yeah, you're wearing too
What?
much. You cut for 3 months just to wear clothes? Like,
That is kind of funny.
yeah. So I chose that.
Why not like a
Hmm?
sexy version of that, like a topless version or something, or a
I
shirt
could,
open
I could,
version?
I could. I mean, they do go to a beach resort in the
Oh,
recent episodes, but
yeah.
I think the point of his character is he's not supposed to be that sexy cool character. That's
Right.
the kind of the point of Rent a Girlfriend. So
Yeah.
it would kind of defeat the purpose of me being sexy
Yeah.
Kazuya.
Right. Right. Right.
But
Okay. I get.
that's also what I'm gonna pair up with Tracy. For those of you guys who
Mm.
don't know, Tracy's my girlfriend. I keep saying her name, but
That's-
she's also gonna be cosplaying the main girl, main protagonist
mm.
girl from that. So we'll be paired up for that one.
That's cute. That makes sense because I was meaning like, okay, so your character, it would make a lot of sense if you were to pair up, and because it's okay, I see. Like a duo.
hmm Yep, yep. So that's my first cosplay, and that kind of came about like when my friend was like, "Why does it have to be like one of these requirements that you set for
Mm.
yourself? It should just be something that you like." And I'm like, you know what? That's the anime I watch the most right now, or
Yeah.
one animes I watch the most right now. So just do it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
What
then
was the
the
second
second
one?
one, we were kind of talking pre-show about like how to pick a cosplay for me, and this one was I was actually shopping, browsing for soccer jerseys because World Cup's coming up. My favorite soccer team, Manchester United, just released a new kit, so I was like just browsing, and I'm like, oh, the Japanese jersey from the World Cup, that's gonna be happening in about 3 weeks. I was like, that looks clean. The World Cup will be happening during Anime Expo. Last year I
Mm.
cosplayed a Blue Lock character who's, a soccer character. What if I cosplayed as the same Blue Lock character because I already have the wig and all that stuff, but he actually made it to the Japanese soccer team. So I'm wearing the official Japanese jersey and clothes with his
Mm.
name and number on the back because you customize the jerseys. So I'll be him, but on the actual soccer team who's going to be here in America playing in the World Cup. I'm like, that
Mm.
kind of lines up,
That's
the
cool.
relevancy. I like the character. I can understand how to play the character, and it's kind of relevant and cool and kind of out of the box thinking, So that's how I kind of stumbled upon my second cosplay. Again with a shirt on though. So
Yeah. What? Why even cut, man? Why even go to the gym?
I know, right?
That's cool.
So yeah, that's leaves me at the dilemma I have now of I need help picking at least one or two other cosplays that will show my results at the gym. You know,
Do you have a short list of potentials?
I do just because it kind of repeats from Demon Slayer, Sanami, the Wind Hashira.
Mm.
I really like the wig I have for him. I like the outfit; it's easy to wear. I would just need help with makeup for all the scars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like high up there on my short list right now. And then also from the same anime, Inosuke. But I do Inosuke too much. I tried to limit him to at least every other year, and I just
Yeah.
did Inosuke last year. So don't really want to do
Ah,
him. His pig head is right here behind me that I
oh,
can
nice.
pull out. But yes, I'm leaning more towards Sanemi.
Okay, so one of those two.
Yeah, probably one of those two.
Yeah, and then
Then something else.
anything else on a short list of potentials?
No, that's where I need help because normally I pick a character. So my requirements,
Yeah,
I talked to my cosplay friend before. I was like, I like to pick a character that I like or an anime that I like because I don't want to be a character and someone, another cosplayer comes up to me and tries to interact with
yeah,
me like character to character. And I'm like,
it's true.
who are you? I don't know who you are.
I don't know who I am. I
Yeah,
just put those clothes
people,
on.
exactly. I'm just here. People
Yeah,
suggested me be Zoro from
Zoro.
One Piece.
Yeah.
And they're like, Travis, you could be a great Zoro. I was like, I could be if I knew who he was. I just know he has
Ah,
three swords, like one in his mouth and
ah. So you don't really watch or know of much of One Piece then, because Zoro's the second most popular character.
yeah, I know who he is. I know, like, if I see him, I know who he is, but
Yeah,
I don't know his story. I don't know his
yeah,
characteristics of like how he talks or how he acts and
yeah,
stuff like that. So I couldn't be a good Zoro without doing some research first.
yeah. That's fair. I will say though, Zoro is my favorite character, and he's always been my goal to do it at AX. It's just Zoro, topless Zoro, but he's a pretty straightforward character. If you ever end
Hmm.
up doing the research, he's just very disciplined, very kind of stoic. I mean, it's no nonsense. But the quirky thing is that he just has a bad sense of direction. So that's pretty much it. He's just a badass
Got
who
you.
trains a lot, but he also sucks at direction. But generally, that he's pretty straightforward. There's nothing too
Got
deep
you.
about it,
Mhm.
which is cool. But I was gonna say on the One Piece thing. I know you don't really watch One Piece, but Ace. If you, I don't. I'm assuming you've
Mm.
never done Ace before, but he's
Hmm.
fully topless. So I think it would fit your criteria if you watch One Piece.
Yeah. He's Luffy's brother, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. His older brother.
Yeah. I know a little bit about it. I just don't know his background and character too much.
Yeah,
Same with like Zoro. Yeah, he could be stoic and chill, but what's his relation with other characters? So if someone comes up to me cosplay that's
yeah,
like Luffy, how would I
yeah,
act with that Luffy cosplayer?
yeah. That's true. Dang. Okay, if you ever do get around to this, I could definitely help coach you on the personalities. Because yeah, Ace is just the TLDR for the audience. So like, Ace is Luffy's older brother. He's very
Hmm.
chill, but very independent, but very fire type, very ambitious. He's the son of the former king of the pirates, so Gold Roger. He's his son that he never really knew, and his main motivation in the whole thing up until he leaves the series is that he just wants to find a family that loves and accepts him as he is, because he always thought he was like a burden, because his father, who was the king of the pirates, was hated, and so if anyone found out that he was the son of the king of the pirates, he'd be attacked. And so his whole search of being a pirate was to find a family to just love him as he is. And then his character arc ends with him realizing that Luffy and his whole crew, the Whitebeard pirates, like sacrificed their lives, basically put their lives on the line to save him. And so that's kind of like his whole motivation, which is great because he's also the older brother figure to the main character. So he's like a very compelling character.
And Luffy
Yeah,
knows that Ace is his brother.
yeah, 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 yeah. So they've been brothers since Luffy was 7 and Ace was 10, I think. But they just kind of they have been out of touch for the last 3 years until they met again when Luffy started becoming a pirate. So
Hmm.
they're kind of like very independent people, but when they see each other, it's like that whole brotherly vibe. So I think to the point of, let's say in the future, if you were to ever be Ace, you would only really need to know how to interact with Luffy's, because he doesn't really talk to anyone else besides them
Okay,
in the main cast. Yeah. So I think that's very interesting.
got you. I can do that.
But
That's
yeah,
not too bad. I've seen Ace
yeah,
cosplays around. He wears like a
yeah.
hat, right?
Yeah, it's just that hat and then shorts, and that's pretty much it. Well, shorts and shoes, but and then
Okay.
he has like a long necklace sort of deal, and he has these cool tattoos, but essentially he's just topless. So I think it would look good.
Does he have the long black hair too, like this?
I don't remember. He's just usually wearing his hat. He has black hair, but I don't think it's long, if
Okay.
I'm not remembering mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah.
But
Anyone who goes
duels.
to the, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You go for it.
Yeah, no, I was like, anyone who's been to like any sort of conventions or something probably has seen Ace, because he's again one of the top 10 favorite characters.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what were you
Definitely
saying?
think it's
Or
doable without a wig, I think.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, 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 for sure. If you had the hat, I think you can get away with it with your hair.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll
Nice.
consider Ace.
You
Yeah, definitely.
honestly, there's a shortcut. Obviously, I don't think you would do it, but in the future, there you could just watch certain episodes. I'm sure there's a compilation of Ace episodes because it's not a
Uh-huh.
lot. He's not a main character, so then you could get the gist of it and then just do a quick wiki search and be like, okay, I think I can do this character because he's not
Got you,
super
got
super
you.
main. He's a very
Uh-huh.
peripheral character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is this your
anyways,
way as a One Piece fan to get me to my gateway
100%.
entry into
I
One
am
Piece?
I am definitely always evangelizing One Piece whenever I can. So
Just feel like every other One Piece fan out there. I have three coworkers who
yeah.
love One Piece, and they're just
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
watch it, watch it, watch it. And I'm like, it's 10,000 episodes. I can't watch this.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I have a friend of mine who she recently got into One Piece, and as she was watching the first 300 episodes, or the first 200 episodes, she was like, "Oh, I think my new favorite character is Ace." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Get back to me in like 200 more episodes and let me know if he's still your favorite character." And she's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "I don't know. Just let me let me know if this changes." So yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, anything else? So you're between that and maybe I think what we were mentioning off camera, you kind of go based off feeling. Okay, if it clicks and if there's some sort of thing there, you might go for it. But in lieu
Hmm.
of that, you think it's just you'll kind of stumble upon it if you come up to that with that fourth character.
Hopefully, because right now, yeah, I kind of stumbled upon the Japan national team Nagi cosplay.
Yeah.
But I think these last two are a little more strict just because I do want to do something that shows my gym progress, right? I
Mm, mm,
do want to be able to wear comfortably without not knowing the character, right? So if I
yeah.
did my research in the next 2 months about Ace, then I would consider it for sure. So, and then the third one that my friend kind of not berated me, but kind of questioned me, like kind of like a relevant anime, right? And then they're like, why do you need to be a relevant anime? Like, just do
Mm,
what you like. And I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
good
Of
point.
course.
Yeah. But to me, the relevancy helps with if I was going with, let's say we were going together, right? And we had a whole group of people going, we could be like Mario Kart for all I care, right? Because I have
Yeah.
a group, my squad of Mario
Mm,
Kart people, and we can just be
mm,
running around Anime Expo. But if I'm usually going alone, and I'm looking for kind of like, not to fit in, but like some interactions, right? Someone actually recognizing me, being, oh, hey, nice, hey, yo, Ace, let's take a picture, and it's like Luffy and Ace or something like that. And then there's like
mhm.
an actual meetup. I like to have that, camaraderie with like other cosplayers. Because if you're
Yeah.
wearing like a random, out of the park cosplay, no one's gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let's take a picture together, or the nice cosplay from you're my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about now anime. Current favorites, why? I know you mentioned Rent a Girlfriend, and then we were kind of chatting about the same ones that we both watched. What do you want to start with first?
We could chat about the same ones that we both watch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned this when we were chatting, but I kind of will have, there's the big anime that I almost rarely ever catch up on. And then there's the staples like the My Hero Academias that I'll catch up on like all at once. And then there are like those small one season ones that I'll be like, okay, well, this looks like it has good reviews, and I'll kind of just go through a 12 episode one season one, and then sometimes they'll have a second season, and then you have ones like Chainsaw Man or JJK or whatnot, or
Hmm.
like I mentioned Windbreaker or like Doctor Stone that you also watch that you kind of just catch up on as you go. So
Hmm.
I've in my subscription, I kind of just every 2 or 3 weeks I'll do one or two short one seasons, and then I'll just kind of do other things and go back to it. But what is your current anime watching sort of cadence been?
Yes, but right now it's basically only been the old animes that I've been following whenever the new seasons come back. So like Rent a Girlfriend,
Mm,
and also things that I'm like maybe it's like a new series but same genre. So like Digimon is the other anime I watch right now, and it's a completely new series, new characters and everything. But since I'm like very familiar with Digimon, I'm just kind of checking it out. And it's not too much. I don't have to think too hard and follow it too much. It's just like
mm,
30 minutes of Digimon, every Saturday or something. So it's relatively easy. I guess I have been kind of watching other anime by listening to it because a lot of my free time is coming towards this Gunpla stuff. So if it's dubbed, I'll watch it. I'll just put it on the background and I'm listening and I'll look over when something crazy is happening. But uh it's more like background. That's why I would watch it dubbed. So if something like One Piece was dubbed, which I'm pretty sure it is, I could just put that in the background and just let it roll.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same way too because I'll be multitasking.
Hmm.
And so if it has a dubbed version, I'll go into that. But if it's like super new or there's too much action going on and not a lot of dialogue, then I'm like, okay, let me watch it. But then now I'm so used to the dub, I'm like, oh, this is fine. Like, I get the general thing.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like an efficiency, practicality sort of thing, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Like I'm similar with you. Like the big ones, My Hero, Demon Slayer, JJK, all those things. Like I already follow it, so like I feel like I have more of
Yeah.
an urge of what happens next. So I have to watch it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if someone recommends me, which I'm sure there'll be great animes, right? But if it's like a new one to me, I don't have as much of a drive to be like, okay, let's set aside some time to watch this anime because I
Mm.
don't have the what happens next type of feel to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I want to ask about since we both watched the Chainsaw Man movie and Demon Slayer movies that came out semi recently, but one recommendation I want to throw your way to put on your list is Windbreaker. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. It's like the high school
Yeah, yeah.
fighting one, right?
Yeah, it's like a high school delinquent sort of fighting one, and it's pretty popular. When I went to Japan last year, there was like promo stuff going on about. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was this big.
Hmm.
But I think you'll like it, especially since you're like a Cobra Kai fan.
Yeah.
It is has that sort of fighter essence anime to it, but it's a newer, right, like a new gen sort of anime. So they kind of do a really good job, I feel like, with the characters, the plot, and the total, like the overall vibe. It's a fresh take on a sort of tried and true trope of the delinquent fighting it, like high school anime.
Hmm. Is
I
there
like it.
shirtless characters?
Ye- I I think so. I mean,
Okay.
I think they're all pretty relatively buff, but see, everyone wears uniforms, so they typically have clothes on.
Hmm.
But I don't remember, but I don't doubt there's at some point they get topless, but I don't think anyone is specifically always topless.
Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
And it's only 2 seasons, 12 episodes each or something like that.
Okay.
I think you would like it though, because I really enjoyed it for that. It's not like that's my favorite genre, but anyways. Okay, so Chainsaw Man movie, Demon Slayer movie.
Hmm.
You're you've caught up and watched both the animes, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So what overall thoughts, or how do you feel like it fit in, or how well did they do for the movies?
So for the movies, I think I like the Chainsaw Man movie better than the Demon Slayer
Hmm.
movie. One, because I felt like the Demon Slayer movie was literally like 5 episodes of an anime. And since it is like a three-part trilogy, there's no good ending to it, right? It's still going. And it didn't really format itself well, in my opinion, as a movie. Here's the beginning, here's the middle of all the conflict, and here's the end, right? It's kind of like really episodic of here's this fight, here's this fight, here's this fight, and there's more fights to come. And it didn't really feel like a movie. Whereas Chainsaw Man, they put the whole arc as the movie.
Hmm.
So you have the introduction of these characters, you don't know what the real issue is yet, and then you realize, okay, here's the main problem, here's the antagonist, and then there's the resolution of what happens at the end. And even though it's still like an anime where it leads to something else, you finish the whole arc in the movie, and it was definitely more like
Mm,
artistic. There's whole scenes of, more visual and audio, not so much just like your typical episode of a shonen.
yeah, I totally agree. It feels more like a complete story, like
Hmm.
a how movies should be like a complete thing, even if it's a part of a larger narrative or a larger story.
Hmm.
Chainsaw Man, it was cool that they did a whole arc in one and however they had to fit that in, but yeah, it was nice. And I think movie wise overall, like the music, the art, the pacing, the action, everything, like from all the analysis channels I even watched too, generally people loved it. The
Uh-huh.
Demon Slayer movie, I think the same from what I heard, because they're trying to adapt basically the last arc into 3 movies, if you split it by a season, like 12 episodes or whatever, then each movie is basically 4 episodes or something.
Hmm.
And to your point, I think that's what it feels like. It feels, oh, they just played 4 episodes or whatever. And now it's like a mid ending of this movie, but I leave the movie feeling like, okay, I know there's more, but it didn't feel a complete experience. So I
Hmm.
totally get that.
Yeah. And it's not like Demon Slayer can't make good movies. We all watch Mugen
Yeah.
Train, and Mugen Train was like amazing. But I think Mugen Train also did a thing where it was a whole arc, right? The whole train
Mm,
battle, the whole arc was beginning to end. And had, a pretty dramatic and satisfying ending to that movie. Even though the arc continued a little bit after, I think the Mugen Train Demon Slayer movie was much better than Infinity Castle Part 1.
Yeah. Don't you think it's also a little bit difficult though, because that last season arc or whatever, Infinity Castle, is like there's so many different plot points going on that there is no one cohesive story arc of beginning, middle, end sort of three-act system where it's like there's a main boss that you're trying to fight against and then
Hmm.
you overcome it with resolution and climax. Because it's like an ongoing full season story, do you think it would be possible to make those into actual cohesive, clear movies? You know what I mean? Like there's so many
Yeah.
parallel things going on, it seems
Yeah,
like.
no. Yeah, even with the three fights in this movie, it was like kind of like parallel, right? And
Right,
I definitely
yeah.
think it's difficult. And maybe when all three movies come out and I watch them all back to back to back, it'll be fine.
Right.
But yeah, just as like just
The
one
experience
part,
itself.
yeah, it wasn't like
Yeah.
all there. And I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but yeah, I'm not really sure if it's possible to kind of make like the
Yeah.
Infinity Castle arc, all one movie. You know, it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to
Or like
see.
cohesive three cohesive movies, right? Like
Hmm.
clear. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously that was the direction that they wanted to go in because of probably money, right?
Hmm.
I assume.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
I do appreciate that they're trying to give each fight a little more substance and respect it more. And be like, hey,
Mm.
this deserves like a big screen, like 45 minutes worth of fighting. But yeah, I mean the art, the animation, the drawing was amazing. It's just kind of like the story itself was like, is that like it? I don't feel like satisfied, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And another big thing for the Demon Slayer movie is like what a lot of people were mentioning was how it felt super imbalanced because the first two fights, right, were like super short, and then that last one was like
Oh
half the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And you're like, okay, that I get why, and that was like the headliner fight or whatever.
Hmm.
But when you look at it holistically as like a whatever 2 hour experience or whatever, how long it was, you're
Hmm.
kind of like, it felt really unbalanced. Like these two lightweight division fights took like 5 minutes, and then this heavyweight one took like a full hour. You're like, that was weird, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was about to say that. I was saying like, I appreciate how they gave like all the fights like their time, but then I remember like, yeah,
Hmm.
the second fight was like super short, like literally like it was an epic moment, right? But compared to the whole like Hakuji fight,
Yeah,
it was like super short. But also like the way that they paced it too, like it was intense fight, and then a huge like
right.
45 minutes of backstory, which
Yeah,
was a
like
very
flashback. Yeah,
exactly. And it was a very touching and heartwarming backstory. Like I really made me tear up a little bit, but it just felt weird. Like if I were
right.
to
Because the
watch this,
pacing just
yeah.
felt weird. Like the energy was weird because it was just like a break, even though it was well done and it was necessary, but it felt like in a movie context, you're like, this feels like a weird sort of side tangent.
Yeah. It's kind of if you were to watch like the abridged version of the series, right? Do
Hmm.
people care enough to not skip over his backstory? Which I think is very
Mm.
important for sure, but maybe it could have been like a shorter section. Again, it's also like one of my favorite parts of the movie, so it's hard for me to say that too, but it just felt a little out of place or like unproportional.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Two things now I want to ask after this is My Hero Academia. I want to know your thoughts on how you felt like it ended, or I guess the series overall. And then two, Rent a Girlfriend that we want to talk about. So I know you're a big fan. Just to get your, I don't think we talked about it last time, but like, why are you a big fan? I did watch your recap video just now, especially when we were off. But I was like, okay, now I kind of remember what's going on. But yeah, so what was the first one? Yeah, My Hero
My Hero.
Academia.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Yeah,
Good story, good ending, this kid, no powers, you know, finally got powers, became the best hero in the world, ended up sacrificing the thing he wanted the most to become the greatest
yeah,
hero of all time, I guess, or one of the greatest heroes to save the world. So I think it's very
yeah,
like full circle. And it was nice
yeah,
that he just wasn't screwed at the end where he was like, all right, well, have fun, friends. I have no powers anymore. And they kind of gave him the
yeah,
power suit to still hang out and fight crime. So I think it was like a nice ending. Great episodes leading up to it. Great. All the fights and everything. Bakugo I don't know, care about spoilers talking here?
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
seen it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
Bakugo
spoiler alert
like
for everyone. I'll put a spoiler alert in the beginning, so go for it.
okay, for sure. So yeah, Bakugo coming back to life,
That
and
was
coming in,
crazy.
that was insane. Bakugo was like MVP.
That fight where he was fighting All for One. Dude, I rewatched
Yeah.
those sequences so many times. I was like,
hmm
fuck, this is crazy.
Yeah, and like out of my hero, my favorite character has always been Todoroki. But even me as a Todoroki fan, towards the end, I was like, bro, Bakugo and Deku are killing it right now. The way that they're fighting and the animation is amazing. So like
Mm.
much very much enjoyed the ending of My Hero.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I know there were mixed reviews on the ending. So, but you generally just liked it. You're like, oh, that was perfect. I like the way it ended it.
hmm
You didn't feel like they could change anything.
I don't think so. I think it was like a nice full circle. Like, did he end up beating him with a little, talking powers, Maybe,
Little talk no jutsu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about Jujutsu, but I mean that's what it's all about. Like Deku, yeah, he's strong, but what really defined him as a character was his personality, right? He has the best powers in the world, and maybe not as strong as All for One, but he could have really decimated All for One and destroyed Shigaraki at the end. But he knew he always wanted to save that little boy inside the whole time, and it kind of killed him a little bit at the end, or not killed him, but like hurt him knowing that he had to basically kill Shigaraki. Shigaraki was cool with it, right? He was like, "Hey, free me from this because I'm stuck." And that was like his struggle the whole time, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Lots of childhood trauma to address in there, I remember.
hmm yeah. And then they had the whole what's it called? The epilogue episode too. I think My Hero Academia more. I don't know if you watched
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I know what happens, but I don't know if I watched the episode.
yeah. They
What did it
released it like
cover?
beginning of May.
Oh, okay. Oh, I definitely don't watch it then.
hmm Yeah, it's like a 8 year time skip after
Mm.
like the couple month time skip after the during the actual series, and it's cool. There's not real action or stuff to it. I think someone made a joke
It's just
towards
a
the end. Yeah,
type loose ends, right?
yeah, tap loose ends, see who ends up with who. All the ships
Yeah.
confirmed or denied.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it. You should check it out. See what
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
with all the characters.
Yeah, I know what happens from the manga. I just didn't watch that episode yet.
hmm
So I'm like, okay, I know where all the ships end and everything.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. I thought one thing that was interesting is how All Might is the wise old sort of mentor figure, but he survives, which is
Uh-huh.
crazy because in most anime, that guy dies like
Oh
in
yeah.
order for the hero to go into his fullness, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was very interesting and unique for My Hero is that like All Might is still alive. I'm like, damn, this dude's kicking.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what My Hero does. They're pretty light on death. No one super important actually ever dies. The
Mm-hmm.
only person I can think of off the top of my head is Night Eye. Is that his name?
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
All Might's sidekick.
yeah. I forgot his name.
Yeah, in like the third season or
Well, no, wait.
something.
Some of the teachers died too in the final conflict.
Who?
Like that one teacher who has like the poison gas or whatever.
Oh,
I forgot her
Midnight.
name.
The
Is
the
that
one who
her?
peels off the skin, right? Or her clothes, and it leaks like the air out, the gas.
Yeah. Isn't that her? She
Something Lady
died, didn't
Midnight.
she?
Did she die?
S- I swear she did because they were like, bro, we got wrecked and like our teachers are dead.
Maybe she died.
I swear, I swear her and a couple others died. Obviously, there were some close calls, like the little needle guy and
Yeah.
then the gene guy,
Uh-huh.
best genius. But like, I swear it was her and someone else who died, like other people who died in that final sort of rampage.
I know. What's his name? Ah, shoot, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember right now. I totally lost my train of thought. But
Mm,
someone got close to dying and didn't die.
yeah, but you're
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah, but you're right. I think a lot of people that you would expect to die did not.
Oh, Toga
But there
died.
are some people who did. Who's Toga
Or is that her
again?
name?
Oh, yeah. The one who shapeshifts,
Yeah.
sucks the blood.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. She for sure died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. Anyways, yeah, you're right. I agree. There's not as lot of deaths as I expect, but there are also some deaths that I would definitely did not expect. So,
hmm
super spoiler, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like they're
Okay.
like You're right. If you think about Naruto, right? Jiraiya had
Yeah,
to die for Naruto to
yeah,
kind of grow
yeah,
up and get the pain level, beat pain at that point.
yeah.
And I'm trying to think of other animes like that. Like,
Yeah, that trope is pretty common. I can't think of
mhm,
anything now, but it's always like the wise old mentor, and then he has to die essentially in order to pass
mhm,
along that. And I just always thought that the fact that All Might is still alive, I was like, that is usually very rare.
mhm. I agree. Would
Um,
it made it? Do you think it would
yeah.
make it better if he died?
I mean, I personally like that he's still alive. I
Hmm.
don't know if it would have made it better. I think it would have been expected. I'm like, okay, he died and now we can live on in his memory. But the fact that he's still alive and can give back in his own way, I think to me means a lot more because it means like for anyone out there, if you
Hmm.
are in that role where it's like you are a hero and then you help the next generation, even if your job is done, you can still give back in that position, even if you have no powers. And I think that's what I enjoy about him.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, like that's basically what All Might did, and then what Deku's doing now, right? Like he doesn't have powers,
Yeah.
but he's giving back to
Yeah.
next generation by being like a teacher to these like the next generation of heroes.
And isn't that also the reason why they both survived is because they didn't have quirks, and so therefore they could survive the one for all? Something like that?
I think so. I think it was something like, yeah, you need to be like quirkless to basically survive a one for all.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think that was interesting, and I like that again. I think I just
Hmm.
appreciate that he's still alive because I don't think he needs to die. Whereas, usually mothers in anime have really bad,
Oh
like they
yeah.
have the mother syndrome where they'll just die for no reason. And you're like,
Hmm.
okay, well, clearly you need to die because the adventure needs to go. It's like a very One Piece theme as well,
Hmm.
where it's like mothers don't survive because, as Oda, the author says, like mothers are the opposite of adventure and you need the moms to die
Uh,
in some sort of way that the mothers need to die so that the characters can go and live their life because mother is like the home.
yeah.
Which is so tragic because you're like, oh, there's like right now in One Piece, there's a backstory, or
Hmm.
sorry, in the last year's worth of manga, they were like so far three moms have died, possibly a four will die because they're all flashback moms, and you're like, okay,
Oh no.
usually people don't survive flashbacks, but the fact that we've had three or four moms in flashbacks in the last year is not a
Uh-huh.
good sign.
Oh dang. Yeah.
Mortality rate for moms are pretty high in One Piece, yeah.
Dang. Yeah. Don't be a mom in anime,
Exactly. Don't be a
especially
mom
One
in anime,
Piece.
especially, yeah, and especially don't be a mom with that one haircut where it's like a braid, but it goes down one side of your like shoulder.
Oh
That
yeah.
mom haircut is very lethal. Like if you look like that as a mom, you are gonna die in the next
You're
chapter.
toast. You're toast.
It's so funny because it's like a totally a meme and it's totally true.
Yeah. Next time I see a mom like that, I'm like, well, GG's. Now,
Yeah,
thinking about
don't
that
have
though,
any
there
shonen.
is one mom
Yeah,
who survived forever with that haircut. I think it's that
who?
haircut. Ash's mom from Pokemon.
Oh, that's true.
I
Well,
think she has that. I
people
don't know
don't
if it
die
comes
in
down one
Pokemon.
side. Huh?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. She has that vibe, but no, but there's
Yeah.
no. Is there deaths in Pokemon? I'm not really. I don't really watch.
I don't think there's deaths in Pokemon. That's why. But
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Even
So that's
Pokemon
probably
don't
why
die.
she lives in a safe universe, I guess.
Yeah.
But other fight battle shonen, it's
Oh
very
yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Like
Any
Aaron's mom from
whiff of
Attack on
violence.
Titan. Huh?
Oh yeah, everyone. Yeah, everyone, especially in the fighting animes.
Hmm. Yeah. Attack on Titan. The mom dies first episode.
Yeah. Bleach,
Oh.
Naruto. hmm
Oh yeah. Yeah. Bleach. A bunch of moms die.
Oh
Like
yeah, of course, very lethal. The
yeah.
mom disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, One Piece, most moms are dead. And the other big ones. A lot of them, basically. I think a lot.
Yeah.
Either you're born an orphan or your mom dies.
Yeah. Your mom dies giving birth to you.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That you have to, or she can't. You can't be the main character of the show.
Hmm.
Okay, think that's all the things I wanted to ask about the movies. So, what about Rent a Girlfriend now? So, again, I've watched the first three seasons, not the fourth one.
Hmm.
But what are your general thoughts? And/or I'm just very curious, like, why are you so hype about it?
So it's like one of those shows that are like some of my non-anime friends calls it like, just like TV trash or TV garbage that you consume because not much going on, but people like seeing drama.
Mm,
Like shows like Love
mm,
Island or what's the Korean one? Singles Inferno, you know?
mm, mm,
It's like drama that's not yours, but you like watching it. So kind of something like that. So I compare it to kind of like my guilty pleasure of something like a Singles Inferno thing. But
Right,
I think
right.
what really drew me to it at first was first it was this random anime I put on to go to sleep. And next thing I know, I watched the first 5 episodes like in the middle of the night
Of
because I was
course.
like, wow, it like pulled me from episode to episode, like what happens next, right?
Mhm.
But also I think I see a little parallelism of the main character and me, like growing up. Like before I started dancing and getting a little more self confidence from going to the gym and just performing on stage and stuff, I was like a shy dude, you know? So the main character in Rent a Girlfriend is kind of like a loser. And that's what they make him out to be. Like either a loser, like socially a loser, or, not, well, that's the best way. But as a person, like on the inside, like he's like a good guy in general, you know? He might have some weird like fantasies that pop up because the anime is the anime, but like
Mhm.
at the core of I think the main character's soul, he's like just a good guy. He's doing stuff to help other people and not to hurt other people, and that's like his thing. So I kind of saw that. Oh yeah, this good guy, he's an underdog. I'm rooting for him. I'm watching this anime to see if he has a good ending, right? That's what's kind of drawing me to Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. As you're saying that, I'm thinking like, are there any other anime? I feel like there are where there's like the loser guy. And for transparency, like I do like some of those slice of life sort of romance like
Hmm.
anime as well, like here and there. And in between the whole fighting ones, it's like oh, this is just a like a love drama sort of thing. So I do like those as well. But like,
Hmm.
are there any other animes that follow that trope that you're saying of a loser sort of dude and then but he's a good person?
One that I haven't watched, but I've talked to some people at work about it to compare it to Rent a Girlfriend is My Dress Darling.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched the first season of that. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. He is generally a good guy.
Hmm. Good guy. Not so much of
Um,
a loser, but more like socially awkward introvert, right?
Yeah, but
And then the
he's passionate about what he does.
hmm so again, I know a lot. My Dress Up Darling has gotten a lot more positive feedback than Rent a Girlfriend, and I think
Yeah.
that's more so because of what happens outside of the actual anime of Rent a Girlfriend. I think the author of Rent a Girlfriend is a little like sus in the anime industry, so that's why
Oh,
people are
interesting.
like seeing more negatively see Rent a Girlfriend versus My Dress Up Darling. You know, but I
Mm.
think they're both very similar animes.
You're right. As I was watching My Joseph Darling, I was like, oh, I can see the appeal of this. Okay, so I have now my take on this, and it's not to take away from anything, totally valid perspective.
Hmm.
I think the reason why I really didn't like Rent a Girlfriend, but I'm completely committed to finishing it, of course, is from what I remember, yeah, the drama is cool and I like the main girl. She's super badass, but I didn't like the main character because what I like about main character guys is there's something redeeming about them aside from just being nice. And what I think I did not like about him was like he's so wishy-washy. And
Hmm.
whenever there's those times to make a decision, it's like, dude, just choose a girlfriend. He just can't do it. And that
Yeah.
really annoys me. And he's so useless until the end of the second season. And then the third season, he's helping make the movie. I'm like, why did it take you 3 seasons to become useful for once? Because I'm not rooting for you at all. In fact, I don't even want you to be here. I think the girl should just stay single, and all these other girls should stay single. And I get it's like a harem type, and so of course
Yeah.
they're gonna like him for some reason. But I'm like, for all these other animes, I can see why even the awkward types, I like them. But for
Hmm.
him, I was like, I don't like you at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, finally, third season, you're getting some. But then even at the end, I think he drops the ball in the third season. And I was just like, oh, whatever. All right.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I'm already invested in the drama and I want to see how this pans out. And I like the girl characters, but this is the first time where I really don't like the guy character.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very clear on why. I'm like, I just don't resonate with him at all. I'm like, you just man up and like do like even those whiny sort of characters who are start off as losers,
Hmm.
what redeems them in my opinion is usually because they grow a pair, but they also are resolved in something and or they're passionate about something
Hmm.
and that sort of shines. And that's why the girls who are way out of their league like them was because
Hmm.
they're like, oh, you're actually a kind person and you're somewhat competent or you're passionate about something in this sort of area.
Yeah.
So that's just my qualms, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. And I've definitely heard that before too, where the character's just so annoying. The main character is he can't, like you said, wishy-washy. He doesn't ever commit or make up his mind, right? Like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go for it, you know? And I think part of it is the author's writing, trying to draw it out. Because
Sure.
try not to spoil, but if you watch it, you'll see more stuff happen, right? But
Sure.
at the
Sure.
same time, I feel like the author is writing these out, drawn out specifically. He keeps the main character wishy-washy because
Oh.
he wants to draw out the
It's
anime.
it's like the reality TV show where it's like you got to keep the tension going because that's what keeps people.
Yeah.
I see.
Because imagine if he manned up, grew a pair, and like confessed to her first season, you know?
Yeah, because then at that point you'd have to become a better writer and figure out ways to keep the story moving.
Yeah. It's like if he confessed right away and
Yeah.
the girl's either gonna say yes or no, right? And then it's kind of okay, where do I go from there, right? But the whole
Yeah.
time, it's
Yeah.
like I really want to tell her, I want to tell her, but I can't because it's gonna ruin our relationship, and it's like that the whole time, right? And that's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
whole first season.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw like the third season, he does stuff, right? And he does show
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
redeeming qualities of he was like basically a project manager, producer for the whole movie, right? And he was like
Yeah. Yeah.
was there, and then yeah, if you watch that season, season 4 is kind of split up in 2 parts. It's still going on right now, but it
Sure.
gets like season 4 pushes it to where stuff has to happen, right? And
Finally.
yeah,
That's
it
true.
like has to, right? And but if
That's what I
you
was saying the first 2 seasons. I'm like,
yeah,
when is usually near the end of the first season, there's some sort of flip of okay, now I like you.
uh-huh.
But yeah.
Yeah, I will say not spoiling too much, the cast of characters that they assemble in this
Mm,
situation forces something to happen. And then something
okay.
might happen, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta figure
Yeah.
out, see and watch out.
Yeah. That's also my same qualms with what is that movie? Tokyo Ghoul? Where he's have you watched? Do
Mm-mm.
you know what it's about? Okay. Well, I think people love the manga, but the anime for me, I didn't read the manga, but the anime for me was like, yo, this dude is like a whiny piece of does nothing right and is not cool and he just complains. And then it was like the last 1 or 2 episodes of the season he gets his powers and you're like, okay, you're kind of cool now, I guess, but not by your own volition. It's because you were forced upon these powers were forced on you,
Uh-huh.
and now you're somewhat redeemable. But I'm like, all you did was whine and cry the whole season. I'm like, I don't like you at all. And I
Uh-huh.
finished it, but I'm like, ugh, why do people like this? And then my friend was telling me, yeah, in the manga, it's a little bit better, like the development, the character, whatever. But he's like, yeah, totally first season. And I'm like, ugh, well, that's unfortunate because
Got
everyone
you.
loves, or a lot of people love that anime.
Yeah. No, especially like you said, like, if the character's whiny and just annoying and does nothing, it's like, why are you the protagonist? You know? I
Yeah,
watched
like I want to
anime
root
too.
for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you wanted to root for him, but he's just annoying, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what for me, like just my own like preferences.
Hmm.
What I love about anime is when I like the character and I'm rooting for them
Hmm.
because of it has to be for some reason like at the very core, the biggest overused trope is that they're a good person. It's like, okay, this dude is whiny, whatever, but people like him because he's a good person and that's really uncommon in this universe and that's
Hmm.
fine.
Hmm.
But for me, I would like them to at least be competent at one thing or have some sort of, there's the trope of the secret like master and he's kind of just low key, but he's actually really OP. That's fine too.
Hmm.
And there's the one where there's hidden potential, but he's actually just a child of destiny and his parents are super OP and then he unlocks it over time.
Hmm.
Or there's the you just are a loser and then you kind of build up to it over the season and we're rooting for you because we see your potential.
Hmm.
But like after the first season or two, and if it's I'm like even after the first 5 episodes, I'm like, why am I supposed to like you? Because there's nothing I like about you
Hmm.
other than the fact that you're whiny. And then there's some really worse anime out there where it's, okay, this is like a harem sort of anime, so all the girls are supposed to like you. But I'm like, bro, there's nothing about you that I would like. You're
Yeah.
just the main character. And that's the only reason why people like you right now. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. It's like
Um,
you're only popular because you're the main character,
exactly. You have the plot charm, I
the
guess.
plot armor. Instead
The
of plot
plot
armor, it's
armor,
plot
but yeah,
charm.
exactly. Plot charm. That's what I
Hmm.
was thinking. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's definitely on my list of it's season 4. Okay, anything else on anime? I guess all the planned stuff that I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah. Other than, I mean, I know you have a pretty massive backlog, but what are you gonna tackle next?
Good question. Yeah, I need to catch up on some of these things, but also, oh, I was gonna say, I've been getting into this. Well, I don't know why, maybe it's my Crunchyroll algorithm, but I've been watching these, it's specific sort of niche genre of imagine a solo leveling sort of vibe where it's
Mhm.
like solo main character and for some reason he's overpowered, but he's very low key and no one really knows the full
Uh,
extent of his OPness.
yeah.
And so the first one that I watched was like Eminence and Shadow.
Yep.
And then there's other ones like How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, and then Jack of All Trades, Party of None, and then My Status as an Assassin obviously exceeds the heroes. They're all the same guy,
Yeah.
but essentially they're all the same person. But
Mhm.
I'm like, I like it because of the whole Sung Jin-woo sort of vibe where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, he's on a mission, he's focused, he's disciplined, he's getting better, he's very low key, he's not flashy, and
Mhm.
he's very a shadow character,
Mhm.
but he pulls through, and it's kind of cool to see that because to your point as well, it's like I see myself a lot in those sort of characters of that's my personality type is to, you know, what's it called? Level up, add skill points to my attributes and whatnot, and kind of be not like the focus or like the like main center, like limelight, but
Mhm.
to just kind of build myself slowly and deliberately and diligently over time, like the Zorro sort of
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I kind of like the, and depending on the story, and depending on the universe and the magic system, it can be better or worse.
Mhm.
But I've been really liking that sort of trope, and because I've been liking those, Crunchyroll just sends me more of them. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and they're usually one season, 2 seasons, or whatever. And so, I'm like, that's why I'm kind of not caught up on my other ones.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like one of my coworkers recommended me Shadow of Eminence, and he said it's really good. So
Mm,
I don't think is
mm,
that one on
mm.
Crunchyroll or is that somewhere else? I forgot.
It it is actually. It might not be. I think I might have watched it somewhere
I think it
else,
might be
but
Hulu or something. Because I was trying to
yeah,
watch it on
may oh no,
Crunchyroll and it
actually,
wasn't there. I think.
yeah, you're right. It might be somewhere else. I think I watched it on another platform. But that one's really good. That I think that one does the best at that trope
Mhm.
because of the power system and the characters are really compelling. But he's just super nonchalant. Like
Mhm.
all of his followers are like these really badass OP women,
Mhm.
and they obviously love him because they're like he's like their master. But he's like, I'll see you guys later, and he's just
Yeah.
doing his own thing. I'm like, damn, what a fucking boss!
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
just like all these girls are like in love with him, and they're like generals in his army.
Mhm.
But he's kind of like the aloof master of the it's very quirky because he lied to them and was like, "Oh yeah, there's this sort of evil organization out there," and they're like, "Oh god, we gotta fight them." And so these girls go off and kind of do their own thing and become super OP and are fighting this organization. He's just doing his own thing,
Mhm.
and years later, they're like, "Oh, we're making progress on fighting this evil organization." He's like, "Oh, good job," and he's like, "Wait, they exist?" And so
Yeah.
it that's the whole thing is he made up this thing and it's actually a real thing and they're fighting him and he's the head of it and they say he's like a genius when in reality he doesn't no idea what's going on,
Uh-huh.
but also subtly he is a genius because he's like super OP power wise.
Yeah.
So it's a weird quirky take on that trope. I don't know.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Oh, for sure. I'll check
10
that
out
one
of
out
10
too.
for me.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're at an hour and a half. So if you don't mind, I would like to go into bowling and to
Let's
see
do
how
it.
far we get to that one before we wrap up.
Mhm.
Okay, so bowling, you mentioned some things like practice, form, shooting better, technology, like the bowling balls, and then your bowling journey. Anywhere you
Mhm.
want to start first?
Well, I'll start. Let's do technical, right? Because we talked about bowling a little
Okay.
before this.
Yeah.
We were talking about your scores and how you're
Yeah.
started seeing, how the lane conditions can affect you, and you kind of be able to read lane conditions now, even though you're using house balls and stuff, right? So maybe you can go over a little bit, your idea of bowling, and then I could kind of say, okay, see, what you're seeing here is this,
Yeah.
and here's what I would do, and here's why things are like that are happening, right? With your
Yeah.
own
No,
bowling.
that's a good starting point. Coach Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the TLDR is so I kind of bowl seasonally and I enjoy it and it's fun, but I've never been trained. Super amateur, no technique. I just kind of over the years, I'm just trying to get more consistent and better with my scores. I don't have my own bowling balls, but I'm using the house balls. And my excuse for that is, okay, well, I don't know if I'm like I feel like I need to invest in my own bowling balls. But my also weird justification is, okay, if I just get used to the house balls, no matter where I bowl, I can be fine and not need to have my bowling ball. And so it's like a partial practicality sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
even though I know it's going to cap my score because I'm not as consistent with my rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll have my own bowling shoes, but I'll be sandwiched between actual bowlers with their own bowling balls. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to do my best, low
Mm-hmm.
expectations. Hopefully, no one thinks I'm actually good. So then when I do suck at that game, people don't expect me. Oh, he's using house balls.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if I feel like if I have an actual bowling ball, they're like, he's okay. And not that anyone really cares, right? But so for me, I'm like, okay, let me just see how consistent I can be. And then also forces me to adapt. One, like I mentioned to you, I can tell during the time of day if my lane is oiled or not because I'm like, okay, yeah, this is definitely like catching too early or it's hard curving.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some days when it's more oiled, I can tell it'll flow where I want it to go. So even today in the morning before I went to the gym, it was like definitely not oil. So I kept catching. So I had to readjust by turning a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
throwing a little bit more straight, and then curving a little bit less. And so my scores weren't really that good,
Mm-hmm.
but compared to the days where it's more consistent. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
Nice. So you can definitely read the lane, right? You can kind of see, okay, the lane is a little drier now, or lane is a little more
Hmm.
flooded with the oil, right? You have a
Yeah.
good perspective of using house balls. You can basically go from house to house and still have a consistent ball at least, right? And that kind of starts
Yeah.
off with
That's my thinking.
exactly, and that goes back to the main part of bowling is consistency. So you want to make sure that your swing is consistent, your release is consistent, your approach is consistent. And we're not even touching on that part yet, but at least using a consistent ball is giving you part of that, right? Your score will always cap with a house ball around 180, like your average, right? 180 to
Yeah.
200, in my opinion, right?
Yeah. No, that's pretty accurate from what I've been tracking. I'm like, yeah, I don't ever really go more than 180-ish,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, whatever.
Yeah. No,
I'm not
180 is pretty
competing.
good for your amateur bowler that's just out there using a house ball. If I saw
Yeah.
someone consistently shooting 180 with a house ball, I'll be like, that's impressive. Because the thing is, this kind of touches on the technology part of it too. A house ball is basically just almost like pretty much a solid ball, right? There's nothing special inside it. It's the perfectly spherical weighted ball, center of gravity around the middle and stuff like that. Drilling fingers in it. The cover of the house ball is not super strong. Doesn't really absorb oil like a sponge. It'll just go, right? That's why a lot of people use, or some people use house balls as spare balls. Even in league, they'll use their strike ball to get strikes. And then when they try to shoot spares, they go pick up a house ball and know that it's just gonna go straight. If you throw it straight, it'll go
Mm.
straight. It won't hook randomly on you, right? So that's why I would say your score, if you're a really, really good bowler using a house ball, you'll be shooting 190s all the time because you probably want to strike often enough to chain strikes. So if you think about the
Yeah,
game,
that makes sense.
nine spare, nine spare, nine spare, nine spare, you're getting 19s all the way across. So 190.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's where you're kind of capping for in terms of using a house ball. But I think your ability to already read the lanes will help you adjust and change your where you stand on the lane to shoot more consistently into the pocket, right? Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, do you know how consistent you are on the other things of bowling, like your approach, your release, things like that?
Uh, I don't know how to judge it, but I'm always very aware of my steps are very consistent because that's intentional. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
Hmm.
like how I'm swinging. Obviously, I have to adjust based on where I'm trying to hit. If it's I'm trying to hit the corner left or corner right or something like that, or if it's like I need to aim a little bit more or curve less, curve more, then
Hmm.
I'll sort of slightly adjust. But I generally try to my first roll always be that consistent sort of swing or roll or whatever.
Hmm.
So I'm very cognizant of that. It's only when I have to adjust.
Hmm. So I think, I don't know, do you want homework or tips or something like that to help improve your game with the house ball?
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm open to anything.
For sure.
I'm here to
So
learn.
next time you bowl, you have your own shoes, so that's great. When you line up for a shot, right? Look down and see what board you're lining up
Mm. Oh
on.
yeah, yeah, that's what I try to do. I start on the same spot each time, especially my first roll.
Okay, so you start in the same spot, right? Do you
Yeah.
end on the same spot when you throw the ball? Do you even look?
Generally, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't yeah, good point. I don't know if I generally look, but I think because I'm taking the same steps, like my steps are fairly consistent when I've seen videos of myself.
Hmm.
So I think I'm ending in the same spot because my steps are generally the same.
Yeah. So when I say end, I mean like left and right, right? Your steps forward and
Oh,
back.
oh, oh,
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's what we
Okay.
call drift. in bowling during your approach, you want your drift to be consistent because what really matters is where the ball leaves your hand at the foul line, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So people have a tendency to walk away from the gutters. So let's say you're lining up on 5 board, right? Because as right-handers, we count from right to left. 5 boards being the 5th board away from the right gutter.
Is that how close is that center or where is that?
So the bowling lane is made up of 40 boards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like leaning towards the right, like close to the right.
Well, it's like pretty much dead right. 5 boards, like
okay.
like 5 inches over from the gutter.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the middle is like 20 board, and then all the way to the left for us would be 40 board, right?
Gotcha.
And if you ever want to do something really funny or really put your mind in perspective of how hard bowling is, draw a bowling lane to scale, knowing that the lane is 40 inches across and 60 feet long. So if you draw it to scale on a piece of paper, you'll see how hard what you are doing actually is.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But back to is like next time you bowl, see where you line up with your feet, right? With like your right-handed, so where your left foot is. And then after you throw the ball, look down and see where you end up with your left foot. Typically, I look at the inside edge of my toe and then see if your drift is consistent. Is it you're starting on 5 board and end on 10 board, or you're starting on like 5 board ending on 15 or 20? Like, is it consistent? Because based on where you slide, it's going to be based on where your ball is going to leave your hand, right? So you want to make sure that your approach is consistent. So you're always going to be targeting the same thing. Because for you, I want to get the ball out there. It's going to hook and it's going to come back into the pocket. Yeah. Targeting is a whole different thing. I use the arrows. My teammates use down lane breakpoints. But if you're targeting something, but your drift is inconsistent, the path that your ball is taking is going to be different every time. So you're not going to get the same reaction.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'll take notes for that next time. I want to say that when I do try to keep everything consistent, like where I'm walking, where the drift is, how far, and then where my arm is releasing. Because I'm trying to get as I'm doing 4 games in a row, I'm trying to get those feedback loops. Okay, my swing is consistent. That's where I wanted it to be. That's where it usually goes. This one was not consistent. That's why I got the gutter or it went too far one direction. But yeah, I'll be more intentional about looking at least where they are. And I know sometimes because in the second roll, if I need to adjust for what I'm trying to hit, it'll be more inconsistent because I'm like, okay, I need to adjust a little bit to the left, and then I don't really know where it's going to release at that point because I'm just trying to go off of feeling of what I feel like I need the ball to go based on the, after doing so many rolls, you kind of get a feeling of like where you need to throw it, but it's not scientific and it's not methodical. It's more just, okay, let me get thousands of reps in so that I can get the muscle feel of where and then for the most part, as an amateur, as a non-trained person, it does a good job. So yes, that's a great tip. And also, it's even for today, I'm like, okay, I think I would do better if these fucking lanes were oiled better because it's just throwing off my whole groove. But yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, that's also the thing too, is dry lanes versus oily lanes. You're not going to have the same launching point every time, right? You have to be able to change your release point to hit a different target down the lane.
Right.
But if you start off, let's say you normally line up on 10 board, and you throw the ball from 15 and out to the right side and it hooks, and that's what you need when it's oily. And then it's dry, so now you're forced to move, right? You want to know that when you line up on like 5 board, you're still drifting the same amount, or else your calculation is going to be all off when you're on the lane.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's very helpful. One other thing that I've been jokingly experimenting with is my music playlist. I kind of posted this on my story because it's just for fun, right? But last season, I found that for some weird reason, I got really, really consistently high scores when I was playing with my playlist, and I trimmed it down to 7 or 8 specific TVXQ ballad songs, Japanese. And I was like, every time I listen to these specific songs in this order, I don't know why compared to higher energy songs or these different sort of K-pop songs or whatever, that these songs do really well. And I was like, dang, by the end of the season, my averages were about 170, 180 for like consistent. I was like, damn, this is really good. And so this time around, since this is the first week of the season pass, I'm like, okay, let's try Michael Jackson. Old Michael Jackson up until new ones, like my favorite ones, all
Uh-huh.
groove funk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, let me just vibe and dance because I'm really into this music and I kind of do little wiggles in between rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing pretty good consistently. I'm like, okay, let's see how Michael Jackson pans out for the next month.
Nice.
If I sort of vibe with it, and I kind of like the comfort of having the same playlist of like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I start with this song and I end with this song like
Mm-hmm.
last season. So that's just my own weird tangential experiment.
Yeah, I think that has some scientific and it can correlate to bowling a little bit, my bowling experience. Something that's
Yeah.
groovy and a little, more chill. One, it relaxes you, loosens you up, right? So your
Yeah.
swing is more consistent because when you try to muscle
Yeah.
it and force
Yeah.
everything, it's super tight and not consistent. So doing little wiggles and stuff before definitely gonna help. And also ballads, TVXQ, stuff like that, nice and slow and relaxing versus
That's
upbeat,
my
high
yeah.
BPM.
That was my theory. It was like maybe it's because it's so not calming, but you know what I mean? Like it's aside from like high energy EDM, fast paced BPMs, like
Hmm.
it was very like, you know what I mean? And so I was like, maybe because it's relaxing me.
Hmm.
And that was my working theory. And I'm like, well, I don't know why, but it's working. And so
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, now let's shift into groovy dancey.
Hmm.
And even when I have bad days this week, like when I had bad games, I'm like, well, I'm still having fun because I love this music. I'm
Hmm.
dancing and
Yeah.
I'm also rolling. And then typically I'll have some somewhat better scores. It's not consistent yet, but it's like still good because I'm like, I'm having fun. I'm getting my steps in. I'm getting
Hmm.
some sort of cardio.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
having fun and relaxed. Like even if you're not bowling well, but you're having fun with it, you're relaxed. It's gonna end up being
Yeah.
better. When you start
That's what
tilting,
I tell
that's when it's
myself.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, look, as long if I have a shit score, at least I'm having fun. I'm not wasting my time, and so that's why I try to because I think in past seasons when I would get into that negative spiral of like, oh, why is it not going where I need it
Hmm.
to be, and all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay, well now I'm just not having fun, and so I'm like, I'm committed this season to just have fun no matter what,
Yeah.
and of course I'll try to improve systematically and deliberately.
Yeah. That takes me back to my last week's league.
Yeah.
I like got super frustrated. I forgot exactly why. Either I missed an easy spare or something, and I never do
Mm.
this. But I straight up kicked the wall. Like I was bowling on the
Okay.
lanes at the end during league,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and we weren't bowling against other people, luckily, because the team that we were against like
Yeah.
blinded out for the week. But I like got super frustrated. I forgot why. Either I got stuck or I missed or something. And I like turned around and walking back, I kicked the wall and totally out of character. And I sat down and my teammate was like, Jerry was watching you the whole time, right? And Jerry's the owner of the bowling alley. He was bowling next to us. And I was like,
Oh shit.
okay, well,
Oops.
the rules say that you can get disqualified for purposely hitting bowling equipment. And the wall's not bowling
Okay.
equipment. So at least I didn't kick the ball return.
Yeah. Technicality. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
So yeah. What was there? Did you have any sort of reflection after that,
Again, out of
or is it
character.
just like,
I typically
yeah,
don't do that. I forgot why that one specifically frustrated me so much, but it kind of goes back to your thing of having fun, relaxing, don't tilt, right? The moment you tilt and you try to get super stressed and force everything, you're gonna keep rolling, and not in a
mm,
good way. You're just
yeah,
spiral downhill. So
yeah?
yeah.
Maybe that's an important lesson or takeaway. Is athletes or all sports.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a physical aspect to it, but your emotional, mental side of it will affect obviously your performance. And for something like bowling, like tangibly, if you're more tense, relaxed, stressed out, it will affect your consistency of how you're rolling, your swing, and whatnot.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, dude, even if I just miss an easy one or I just straight up gutter twice in a row, I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I'm still like
Yeah.
just dancing. All right, well, I love this song, so let
Yeah.
me just vibe out
For sure.
and just not care because no one cares, no one's looking. Even if people on the next lane are like, even if they're thinking about something, which they're probably not, I'm like, dude, why do I care? I'm just here to have fun, and
Yeah.
if I get a good score, great. If I don't, I'm having fun, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I try to tell myself,
You gotta have a short memory, a good enough memory to remember and adjust, but don't
yeah,
carry those emotions from one shot to another shot. It can be a great shot, it could be a bad shot, but if you let that hype you up or brings you down, it's going to kind of not give you consistent results.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any weird
Mm,
habits, like on your approach? You know how like a basketball player,
yeah.
they always do the same thing before every
Oh,
free throw?
yeah. I don't know if it's a weird habit, but I do have the same setup.
Hmm.
Like meaning, I find my place and I hold it in my left arm, and then I'll sit into my right, exhale, and then, do my regular roll. So like I have a consistent sort of, okay, here's the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, but then yeah, I don't know if there's anything weird, but I'm definitely trying to have fun and relax in between each roll. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, that was a bad roll. Who cares? Just have fun. Roll the next one.
Uh-huh.
That's the new habit I'm trying to get into. Is like no matter if I get a strike, spare, whatever, hit the one I was going for, is just to relax and do a little victory dance no matter what it was. Like I
Yeah.
missed completely, victory dance.
Uh-huh.
Strike, victory dance, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. So it's like I think that's what I'm trying to do now.
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
definitely. Just like,
What about you?
but I do this thing, and I don't know if it actually does anything, but I breathe. I definitely exhale, but I exhale into my bowling ball. Like
Uh,
I saw, I think when I was bowling collegiately, I saw some people, they breathe into their thumb hole because it adds a little
Interesting.
humidity, so you get a little more grip,
Okay.
right? I don't use my
Yeah.
thumb, so I
Huh.
breathe in my finger holes,
Yeah.
which are already rubber. So in my mind, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a little more grip, but I don't really need it because I have my
Yeah.
second hand on it. But I'll like
Yeah.
literally line up, and then I'll like exhale into my finger holes, and then put my fingers into the ball, and do it every time. And people who don't know,
Mm.
like they're like, "Are you kissing your bowling ball on your approach?" Because from the back, it literally looks like
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
yeah, yeah. I'm like, you gotta kiss the bowling ball, make it like you, so it goes to where you want it to go. You know, that's how I get all my strikes.
I love that. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
mwah, all that dirt and oil on my face.
exactly. Yeah. And next to like when we go bowling together, and I have my own stuff, I'll do it with house balls too, because it's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
habit, right? And I'll like
Right.
literally go up
Yeah.
there, and I'll be like, breathe, exhale into the ball. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
like a house ball. It's like, but yeah.
I think the one thing that I'm trying to be consistent with is my breathing.
Hmm.
Like everything starts with breathing, right? And so I'm like, okay, make sure the pace and when and where I breathe is consistent when I do my setup. So
Hmm.
that's what I really try to focus on. And then when I don't have that breathing pattern, like it doesn't line up, I'm like, this is, and as I'm rolling, my it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's not. So yeah, I always try to get those things down too, but it's
yeah. Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
One other thing I was gonna ask you. So obviously the vibe of going bowling by yourself versus teammates, or if I go with random friends,
Hmm.
is different. And for me, but it's kind of like when I go to the gym by myself versus when you go with someone. It's obviously a completely different vibe.
For sure. I think so. Just like hit on different environments total, right? Like when you go
Yeah.
by yourself, or when I would go by myself, I don't do it so often anymore. It's practice, right? You're in
Mm.
the zone, like you're focused on you, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Like it's just you. That's simple. I actually don't like bowling with friends as much anymore because the expectation is so high. Like
Yeah.
they're like, Travis, you bowl every week, right? You have your own stuff. If you don't smash us by like 200 pins, what are you doing? You know, like the expectation is there. It's like I don't want to be like that guy who'd be like, yeah, I bowl every week,
Yeah.
and then it show up like I think it
Yeah.
happened on your birthday a couple years ago. We were at like round
Yeah. Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and like we're bowling,
Hmm.
and I'm
Hmm.
like, I can't bowl. I don't have my shoes. Like I'm sticking on the floor, and then like we got Ed back there heckling me. It's like, I never want to hear from you ever again about missing dance practice for bowling because obviously it's not working. You know, I'm like,
Damn. Damn.
yeah. So like,
Damn.
so when I bowl with friends, yeah, like there's that expectation of me to be really good, but it's
Yeah.
totally different. You know, and that's why I
Yeah.
get your vibe. Like when I'm bowling with friends, it's just having fun. You know, I'm gonna try random shots, and if I can do some trick shots or like get a decent score, that's totally fine. But I do not expect to bowl like at my top level. But bowling with teammates is different because everyone's
Mm-hmm.
there for the same reason. I only bowl once a week right now, so no real practice or anything. But I'm bowling competitive. Every time I step on the lanes, it's competitive. So usually the team is there and we're all cheering for each other or we're giving each other tips. It's like a sport, right? You're paying attention to your teammates. They're paying attention to you. It's like, oh, what happened there? And it's like, oh yeah, I lost it at the bottom of my swing, or hey, I think the right lane's looking a little more than the left lane, and we're like kind of focused there. Now it's bowling, a little more casual. We're not at a tournament, so
Mm.
we're like on our phones and having fun. They're drinking beers, eating food and stuff. But we do cheer and high five for people every shot, our team and the other team, because it's like,
Mm.
even though we're competing, we're all there together. So we're always like, oh yeah, good shot, man. Your fist bump or high fives. Oh, you'll get it next time. Easy spare, stuff like that. So I think you should try bowling in a league. you'll be in an environment where the people around you and the people you're bowling with are also focused on bowling. And I think you'll have a different vibe compared to bowling with friends who don't normally bowl, right? I think that's your next step.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. I definitely think it's the next step. I think last season I tried to do one of those open house joining a bowling league and seeing the availability of
Hmm.
like when they go and stuff like that. I think one thing that kind of stopped me, and this is just a little excuse, is like the timing was a little bit weird, so it didn't work out. And then also the when there's the different teams, I guess, or whatever at my bowling alley where it's like, oh, this one's for seniors or this one's for women or whatever. I'm
Hmm.
like looking around, I was like, okay, well, there's probably one I think out of these that might fit, but I don't know. I was kind of just like didn't have enough activation energy to go out and join and sign up for one. But that is on my vision board of okay, join a bowling league and having that sort of community because I do want to eventually get to that point where I'm like I have a bowling friends to go with because right now
Hmm.
it's a one player game.
Hmm.
But it's nice because I get to bring friends once in a while. But yeah, you're right. It's that, and also obviously getting my own ball is the next step. So we'll see how long I'm in this in between transition
Yeah.
period.
I have a lot of bowling balls I can sell you for cheap. 2-finger bowling
Oh
balls.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I had to also figure out that whole thing too. Is like when I do get a bowling ball, of the type and getting it customized and the weight and everything. So
Hmm.
it's another. I think because there's all these things I need to consider, I'm just like, I'm just gonna go today, just roll the house balls and just
Hmm.
do my own thing. You know, it's like working out. It's super convenient to go by myself, but if I
Hmm.
have to schedule it, it's just a little extra layer of friction, and that's just the excuse I'm telling myself.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Like,
I'm excited to do that eventually.
yeah, definitely not gonna fit in this whole time frame right now. But if you ever need any help with bowling stuff, the technical stuff,
Yeah.
I got you. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
um,
Thank you.
yeah, it's whether or not we end up practicing together at some point, or you just need help choosing a ball, or how to figure out how to drill it. I'm basically a pro shop operator, but that
Nice.
I just don't have the
Dope.
drill press to drill the ball. But
For
yeah.
sure. Cool, man. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate
Hmm.
that. You'll definitely know when I get to that next level.
For
I'll be like,
sure.
Travis, I'm serious about this now. I'm about to go pro. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, I think that's it. I kind of want to wrap this up. We're almost at 2 hours. Unless
Yeah.
there's anything else that you wanted to talk on
I think we're
before
good.
we land the plane.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah,
good. We talked about, a good, like a lot of topics. We had a little technical difficulties in the middle, but
yeah,
yeah, overall, yeah, we hit up anime. I'm glad that we were able to talk and catch up. Bowling for sure. I mean, I think we could go on so much more bowling. We'll do a live stream of Travis and JR
yeah.
at
That
the bowling alley.
Wait, you're onto something. That sounds hella fun, actually. I've been thinking about. I'm like, dude, I'm always here all the time. It would be in a weird genie magic lamp sort of thing. I'd be like, what? Can I just be like a professional live streamer where I can just do the things I'm normally doing, but just
Hmm.
be like a presence online, working out or bowling or something like that? And
Hmm.
I'm like, that would be kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already doing this thing, and I just interact with people.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think the easier step to that is if we ever do a sort of live stream with us for a random game, that'd be fun.
yeah. Definitely, there's a lot. I got one or two influencers that bowl in my league. So I see it all the time.
Mm.
People set up their cameras, they're
Oh,
bowling, they're talking to the
yeah,
stream. I joined their streams
yeah,
just to like heckle them, because I'm right next to them, and it's pretty
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
There's definitely opportunities to do that out there. It's not weird,
yeah.
but yeah, it'd definitely be cool.
Yeah. Ugh, man, I gotta think about that. Okay, well, within the next 1 or 2 years, maybe that'll be on my back burner of ideas.
Hmm.
But yeah, cool. All right. If nothing else, then we'll wrap this up. Well, first, ending questions. Travis, gratitude. What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for my current boss.
Nice.
He's not gonna watch this, so it's not even brown nosing. But I feel like your boss really matters, and not that my old bosses were bad, but my current boss is really pushing my limits well, but in a comforting way. Like he'll push me
Mm,
and motivate me and make me a better engineer, have more knowledgeable, but not just super harsh, like cracking the whip type thing, right? So I do appreciate him a lot, helped me grow in my professional career. Definitely grateful for uh, everyone in my life actively. Tracy, my parents, my friends around here. Like I see them every day or all the time, and it's cool to be able to have people to go and talk to because I'm busy otherwise, right? It's work, gym, home. But then if I can mix it in some, my friends from work and all that stuff. It's really nice. So yeah.
Nice. I love that. Do you have any final ask from the audience or any takeaways from this, random conversation?
I'll ask. Let's all go bowling together with JR. Let's get like a goal. JR family 1,000 guru family
Yes.
bowling session.
Okay, maybe having a birthday party at the bowling alley is on my list. It is on my very short list of birthday ideas. Since I
Do
did
it.
movie theater and round one before.
Hmm.
All right. Okay, that's another push for me.
Do it at a real bowling alley, not round one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because round one was like kind of like we're just hanging out and doing stuff. But
Hmm.
okay, cool. And then where can we find you? I'll link your social media, your Instagram. Is that the best place if they want to check out what you're up to?
Yep, Instagram. I post stories every time I go to the gym. So that's basically it.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your cuts
my cuts.
and being chunky.
Yes. On camera, I look super small with this shirt. So I don't know, maybe my cuts working.
Nice. All right, cool. Thank you, Travis. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to talk with you, catch up. It's nice to talk to someone who I feel like, birds of a feather. We have similar sort of hobbies and mindsets. And the anime thing was really fun for me because I've been wanting to talk about anime with someone else as well on the show. So hopefully we can do more special episodes like this, and then maybe bowling as well. So I appreciate all of that, and all the fitness stuff too. Super, you're like a wealth of information and a mega coach for all these things, since I'm also trying to do these things as well. So appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'll do my final sign off for the audience before I stop recording. So thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to. Be sure to leave us love in the comments, leave Travis love in the comments. Reminder to always be kind to other people, especially yourself. And remember that you can always learn something from someone if you take the time to listen. So thank you guys for being here.